enjoying the best. Let's city, relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the traffic avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the traffic avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, Traffic Avenue, oh yeah.
City 97.3
Accra.
We are back, bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two, with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This
Offers have been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM. Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
It's 17:30 GMT. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. I am Umaru Sanda Amadou. Tonight, I'm here with
Adjoatin Krama Domina.
And coming up over the next 90 minutes.
The judge made it clear that the special prosecutor had powers to prosecute, and if he had any suspicion, he could have gone ahead to prosecute the applicants. But the law did not provide for him to make adverse findings, as if he was a court.
The High Court gives Kisie Jabin and his Office of Special Prosecutor another technical knockout. This time, it's about the adverse findings he made, or his office made, against former Commissioner of the GRA, Colonel Kojo Damwa. We'll tell you what the judge said and the response of the OSP, which says it will not let this judgment stand. Also coming up, Guta and 5 other organizations punched the government over a plan to restrict the importation of selected goods and items. We'll be sharing details of what they have to say about that restriction. And later on Eyewitness News, we take you to Dawenya in the Greater Accra region, where the opening of an irrigation dam there has led to flooding of homes downstream. We'll be going live to understand what the situation is. Eyewitness News is live across Ghana on a number of affiliate stations. We are also going to bring you business news in the next 15 minutes, and the latest headline:
Bank of Ghana keeps policy rate at 30% for the third time in 2023 to quicken Ghana's path to disinflation.
So that's from the City Business Desk. We'll be getting into that later. Eyewitness News is interactive. Join us on WhatsApp 0549 986 996 0549 986 996. You can send tweets using the hashtag City Newsroom, tweet at Umaru Sanda or at City973. If you're going outside Accra and wondering how to listen to us, don't worry. I'm going to give you a list of stations that can help you. If you're headed for the Northeast region, the Vice President's home region, we are live on Nobia FM 98.1 in Nalerigu. If you're heading to the Upper East region, we are on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu. If you're going to the Northern region, we are in Saboba on Radio Gaki 88.3 FM. If you're headed for the Volta region, Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohwe and Freedom 88.1 FM in Sugakope will be bringing you this live broadcast. In the Ashanti region, we are on Adrian Park 99.9 FM in Nkawie. In Bono region, we are on Greener 95.9 FM. in Sunyani. If you're in the Western region, you must be listening to Adwinpa 100.7 FM in Takwa or Beach 105.5 FM in Takrady or Sky Power 93.5 FM also in Takrady. You can simply also go on your phone, go to citynewsroom.com. We are live there. We are also on YouTube. CityTube is the channel you should be looking out for. We are interactive. Let's know what you make of the stories that we are bringing you. Eyewitness News is coming to you from number 11 Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. Let's start off from the Office of Special Prosecutor and Colonel retired Damwa. Now, let me remind you, last year, the Office of Special Prosecutor began investigations into a company known as La Bianca. It's a frozen foods company owned by Jacqueline Bua Asuma Hene. She's a member of the Council of State, member of the Board of Directors of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and the allegation was that she influenced how much taxes were going to be paid for by her company when it did business. The OSP said it smelled a rat and decided to investigate. Subsequent to that, the OSP brought out some findings. The report that it issued, there were some adverse findings made against two individuals. These persons are Colonel Kojo Damwa, retired. He was with the commissioner, he was with the Ghana Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, and a deputy at the commission at the time, Joseph Eduche. Both of them sued the OSP in November last year. But before the suit, I want us to listen to what Colonel Kojo Damwa said at the time when he spoke in reaction to what the special prosecutor did.
Reporting or coming from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, trying to indict the Deputy Commissioner of Operations and myself. And anybody who has read that report very well will know the basis of that. And luckily for me, God is always on my side. Before that report came, that person had made a statement to some people who had come to them. He was going to publish something that will discredit me. And he would do that. And I even sent people to go and tell him that he's a small boy. I'm older than him. I have lived a meaningful life. If he attempts to destroy me, it won't be easy for him. People have tried it. I have survived. And this one too, I'll survive. All that happened. One of the reasons was because of Mr. Akurugu. He wanted Mr. Akurugu to be seconded to his office. And I said no. Mr. Akurugu is a customs officer, primarily employed to do customs work. And he is to partner Mr. Akutofachin in that office, African Continental Free Trade Area. He deals with tariffs and valuation. And therefore, I cannot second him to the office of the Special Prosecutor because he has a primary role to play in customs. And then he comes back through the Commissioner General. And again, I said, I insist and will go by that he has a primary role. It is when I don't have a role for him or I can dispense of his services, I have others to do what he's going to do, that I will give him to you. So I insist. And he calls me to his office when in relation to La Bianca. And at the end of it, he talks to me about this same matter. And I said, yes, it is not the Commissioner General. I wrote it. Go and check it. And I have my reasons. He will not be released to you. He will be in customs. And then behind me, he goes to resign. He's given the position of Commissioner of Police rank, and he's now with your office. And he goes to make allegations that Mr. Duce and myself, we hate him, and they will deal with us. So that is it. That is the basis of that publication. But if you read it very well, there's nothing in it. It's hollow. It's actuated by malice. And those who are behind it, they know themselves. They know themselves. They've tried it several times. It is not working, and it won't work.
That's Colonel retired Kojo Damwa speaking there, and he was speaking about the Office of Special Prosecutor, saying that there were attempts to discredit him in that particular report. Don't forget that adverse findings were made against him in that La Bianca report by the Office of Special Prosecutor. Beyond this press encounter, he decided to sue, and he and one other person, that is Joseph Eduche, decided to contract a lawyer known as Bob Senyala to take them to the High Court with an application known as certiorari, where they were hoping to quash the decision of the Office of Special Prosecutor. The court held for them, which means the court agreed with them and slapped a 10,000 Ghana cedis cost on the Office of Special Prosecutor. This happened today. So I called up Bob Senyala early today and spoke to him to explain what transpired in court. Listen.
We felt that they had been treated unfairly, and in law, we felt it was time for us to seek a certiorari to quash the report, because that particular report exposed Colonel Kojo Damwa and Joseph Ediche as, I would use the word criminals, because they had committed offenses and had been found guilty or culpable by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. They were taken on in the media and tried by the courts of public opinion for almost 2 weeks. They were subjected to various statements of, in fact, undeserving remarks, which portrayed them as criminals who had committed crimes, and the special prosecutor had found them guilty. So we went for judicial review in the High Court to quash that report for the special prosecutor having acted ultra vires or acted beyond his mandate.
I see. So essentially, you were trying to let the court see that the OSP had no problem doing his work, but the fact that he extended his tentacles to touch your client was not right in law.
Yes. After all, the Special Prosecutors, the Act, Office of Special Prosecutor Act, provided for him to act in a certain manner in doing his work. If he carries on his work, we have no problem. We are not even saying our clients are above the law and cannot be invited by the special prosecutor and investigated. We are not saying that. But when they are invited, that's when the two applicants, any of them is invited, he should be told why he's invited. If it is for having committed an offense, he should be informed in a language he understands that this is the offense you've committed, and we are, in short, let me say, he should be cautioned. And he should have access to a lawyer, which actually Colonel Kojo went with a lawyer. I was his lawyer. We have no problem with that. But he was never informed of having committed any offense and that he was being investigated. He was rather informed that he was assisting an ongoing investigation. So he was, in law, even what would say a witness. And the Office of the Special Prosecutions regulations, the laws of the Office of Special even provide for the protection of witnesses. So if Colonel Kojo Damwa and Yaw Ediche were invited to help, they were like witnesses. And now, people who served as witnesses, you finally purported to have taken statements from them. In any case, only one of them gave a statement. You went ahead to make adverse findings against them, and that was not all. Publish such findings, which were never provided for by the laws of the Office of the Special, and that is where we found him to have acted ultra vires beyond his mandate. We are not challenging him in performing his duties. That's why the office has been created, is to perform duties, but not the way he performed them against my clients.
What did the judge say? Because the understanding that the judge ruled in your favor. What did the judge say? Who was the judge, and what did the judge say?
The judge is His Lordship Justice William Buampong, sitting at the presiding judge at General Jurisdiction 5 on the 4th floor of the court complex. And he ruled that the special prosecutor or the office of the special prosecutor had acted beyond its mandate by making adverse findings against people who appeared before it as witnesses and who should have been protected as provided for in their own laws, but who were rather indicted and adverse findings made against them. And not only that, further, those findings were released as a report to the public and subjected the applicants to trial by the court of public opinion rather than a court of competent jurisdiction. The judge made it clear that the special prosecutor had powers to prosecute, and if he had any suspicion, he could have gone ahead to prosecute the applicants. But the law did not provide for him to make adverse findings as if he was a court of competent jurisdiction, as if it was, that's OSP, the office of the, as if it was a court of competent jurisdiction. It went ahead to make adverse findings, which is the prerogative of a court of competent jurisdiction, against the applicants, and published the same to the public, and they were subjected to the court of public opinion, which we found wrong, and the judge agreed with us.
So, did the judge also award any costs?
The court awarded 10,000 costs against the office of the special prosecutor.
10,000 cedis.
Yes, 10,000 cedis cost against them.
And okay, so that was all that the judge said.
That wasn't all. The court further granted an order of prohibition restraining the office of special prosecutor from purporting to continue or conduct further investigations into that matter, which was the subject of its publication against the applicants.
Very well. Thank you so much. So in summary, what this means is that even though the OSP had made some public pronouncements based on an investigation the office conducted somewhere last year, those pronouncements have now become moot.
Yes, the court, what it meant is that the court had brought all those aspects of purported findings against the applicant before it and quashed them. They've been quashed.
So that's Bob Senyala. He's a lawyer for former commissioner of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Colonel Kojo Damwa, as well as a former deputy commissioner of the division, Joseph Edu Iche. He was speaking to me earlier today. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. So the story is that the OSP work has been thrown out by the court. And the OSP has issued a statement in response to that. Let me just read that for you. And it's titled Case Update, Republic versus the Office of the Special Prosecutor, ex parte Colonel Kojo Damwa and Joseph Eduche. An Accra High Court on 27th November 2023 quashed adverse findings in the report of the OSP on 3rd August 2022 against Colonel Damwa, retired, and Joseph Eduche. The court concluded that the OSP is not a court of competent jurisdiction or a commission of inquiry to make adverse findings. The court also prohibited the OSP from further investigating Colonel Damwa, retired, and Joseph Eduche in respect of the adverse findings. The OSP rejects the decision of the court in its entirety. In arriving at the findings of the matter, the OSP did not constitute itself into a court or a commission of inquiry. The findings were based on investigations carried out by the OSP, and the OSP is mandated by law to publish detected acts of corruption, and its publication of the investigation report is in accordance with its statutory mandate. Further, the decision of the court is extremely inimical to the fight against corruption and the administration of justice for a court to prohibit investigations. The OSP will not permit this decision, the OSP will not permit this decision to stand. That's from the Office of Special Prosecutor in response to the decision of the High Court today that said that the adverse findings made against Colonel Damwa retired and one other should be quashed. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll return with more. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how's your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
Oh, what a nice move towards the cashier.
Yep, you can trust my wife for that when she's using my Access Bank Visa card.
Oh, look at that. Too much swag.
Her swiping is impeccable, especially when Access Bank Visa cards are offering up to 40% discount.
Aha, I see where her confidence is coming from. A 40% discount. That's something. What is she paying for?
It's a spa moment.
Get an Access prepaid, debit, or credit Visa card. Transact and enjoy up to 40% discount when you shop at your favorite retail outlets or Access Bank loyalty partners. Your Access Visa cards can be used for local or international transactions. Access Bank, more than banking.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We are coming to you from our studios in Adabraka in Accra. Now, over the past 2 months or so, we've been reporting for you the consequence of the opening of the floodgates of the Akosombo Dam, which has led to devastation in the southern part of the Akosombo Dam. Indeed, we've realized also that because the river is overflowing, even the northern part of the Akosombo Dam is also inundated and affected. So many communities along the river affected. But now our attention is going to shift to an area in the Greater Accra region, in the Ningo Pram district known as Dowenya. Dowenya is on the road from Tema to Aflao. We understand there is a flood situation there, and it is due to the opening of another floodgate. This time is an irrigation dam at Dowenya. Let's speak to Stephen Kwao. Stephen Kwao is a resident in Dowenya. He has been observing things and has joined me on the line. Stephen, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, sir.
What is happening in your town?
In Dowenya, as of now, I was called this evening to check a flood around the Dowenya, and I got here like 15 minutes ago. And I could see that it is true. On the main Aflao Road, the bridge, you could see that the water is almost full to flood the main road. So I came down towards Miocho, and you could see that the water is entering homes over there as well.
You said a bridge. Which particular area of Dawenya is this? We do know Dawenya being the junction towards Afienya. Is it after that junction or before that junction? Which part? Describe the area for us.
Between the Afienya junction and the Pram junction, there's 2 bridges there. So and they are almost full.
So is the water covering the road, or it is yet to do that?
It's yet to.
And where is the water coming from? Can you see?
It's coming from the dam side.
So which area is affected? Is it to the right when you are going to a plow, or to the left?
It's the right.
What level has the water reached based on the houses you have seen?
The first house I could see around the bridge is almost at the window level of the house.
And this is moving water or stagnant water?
It's moving. It's running fast. You can see that it's coming again.
What that means is that the people have had to leave their homes, correct?
Where I am now, I can see, because I could see some car parked. I think the car is going to his or her house, but because of the water, they cannot move. So the car has parked there. I think they are offloading something from it. That means the person cannot have access to his house.
Do you have anybody around who you can talk to, or did you talk to anybody in the area? What did they say?
I'm here to talk to someone. I'm very close to the one who is offloading the things from the car. So kindly hold on for me to get closer so that I can.
Okay. So while you walk towards the person, where you live is not affected?
No, where I live is a bit on a high place, so it's not affected.
Okay, so you are safe. Have you gotten to this person yet?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let me speak to the person. Just give the phone to the person.
Okay. I'm on Citi FM as at now, giving reports concerning the water. Okay. So they want to talk to me. Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. If you want to interview him, go ahead. Otherwise, I can talk to him.
Okay, talk to him.
Okay,
over the phone.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. You live in Dawenya?
Yes, I live in Dawenya.
What is the flood situation like, sir?
Yeah, it's very terrible. Very, very terrible. We started around midnight. No, don't rather. Around 4:30 to 5. And ever since, it has never gone down. It has been affected about 8 houses in my area. That's the lane that I am staying.
So when did the water enter your house?
Yeah. Now I have to pack out. I have moved 1 or 2 since morning. I've not been able to go to work. And finally, I have to pack out because when you see the level, it is rather coming than going down.
What level has the water reached in your house?
It has entered my room. Actually, when I'm standing in my room, it is on the knee level.
On the knee level and outside?
No, inside my room, on the knee level.
Which means that your bed and everything else would be flooded by now.
The water has captured the room, and we are about 4 tenants in the room, in the house.
Is your house the only one affected, or all the houses on that lane are affected?
No, all the houses around that lane has been affected.
Is this your first time seeing this, or this is a regular occurrence?
It has been happening once in a while, but this is the most serious one.
Was there any warning to you before this happened?
No, because it has not gotten to this stage before.
So did anybody come to tell you that we are going to open some floodgates, be careful, move away?
Nobody. There wasn't any information like that.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. What's your name, sir?
I'm Emmanuel Aye.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Thank you too.
And Stephen, so hello, Stephen.
Yes, sir.
Unless there's something else you want to add, we can end it here. Is there anything else you've noticed that you want to share with us?
No, please.
Okay, thank you so much. That's Stephen Kwao, a resident of Dowenya, who was just helping us there speak to other residents who are affected. Let's speak to Mohammed Richard. Richard Mohammed, he's the assembly member for the Lanuekpo electoral area in Dowenya. You're welcome to Eyewitness News, sir.
Thank you, sir.
This story we've just heard from your residents. What can you tell us about it?
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I think what he just said is true, and I don't know whether it's my electoral area or not, because the thing affected 2 electoral areas this morning. I think Dowenya South and Lanuekpo. So I don't know the person who just spoke.
No problem. Tell me what happened where you are.
At Lanuekpo, an area called Adakope or Soshin Adakope. It is 2 communities joined together. This morning we had a call that the water has entered people's houses. So I called my youth committee members and the area chairman, and we came out. We went there. When we went there, even though the area chairman himself, the water entered his house. In fact, the water was in his knees. That in fact he can't do anything. All his belongings, he can't take anything from the room. So we went to the other houses. In fact, there's nothing that we can do. So what we did was that those that they can't even go out, the agents that we were assisting to help them out from their homes. This is what we did this morning. So I called on my DCE and I gave him the story, the situation at the ground start. And he said, okay, no problem. He will send the national team to come. Truly, they came this afternoon. They also came and did the assessment and they left.
I see. So how many houses are affected? You mentioned 2 electoral areas. About how many houses are affected?
Yes. In my electoral area, roughly 200 or 210 houses that got affected this morning.
How bad is it? How high is the water in these houses? Is it got into window level, lintel level,
yes.
covered the whole house?
Up to window level.
And is this the first time you are seeing this?
No, this is not the first time. I think this year alone, this one is the 3rd one that we are witnessing today. And the first one that came, it was normal. Second one, normal. But today's own, in fact, is too much. We thought maybe.
Go ahead.
Okay. We thought maybe they have opened we have a farm in Dowenya, the canal. So we thought maybe they have opened the dam. So we went there, they said no, they haven't opened their dam yet. So we can see that the water is from somewhere else. It's not from Dowenya here.
Where somewhere is where?
Maybe from Shah Hills, that angle. That's where the water came from.
So the irrigation dam, the people who manage it, they've not said anything to you that they are going to open the dam, did they?
No. They did not. We called them and they said they didn't open the dam.
I see. Very well. Thank you so much. So what should people, where are the people? The people who live in these houses, obviously they can't move inside. So where are they putting up? Do you know?
But right now, they need to perch in some people's, they need to perch in other families. Those who moved to Tema, some people moved to Tema this afternoon. And those who have relatives or families around, they moved to their families.
And this started happening at dawn or last night?
No, just this morning, around 6:22 a.m. this morning.
And the water is still moving rapidly?
It's still moving.
Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
Thank you, too. Thank you.
That's Mohammed Richard. He's the assembly member for the Lanuekpo electoral area in the Dowenya area, speaking to us about that flood situation. Let's speak to Samuel Tete. He's a scheme manager for the Dowenya irrigation scheme. Sir, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Good evening. Thank you.
Are you the ones responsible for the water the people of Dowenya are seeing?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Okay, we have an irrigation farm here, and there is a dam. The dam doesn't have a gate as they are saying. It's built in such a way that when the water rises, it will spill normally, which has been happening over the years. But this morning, there is another stream that flows almost every 2 to 3 years. It happens. So this stream comes from the Shire Hills Bon area. and the water flows through that stream and adds to the downstream of the spillway, not the main dam. So that is what brought about this flooding they are talking about in the town. But as we speak now, the good news is that the water has receded fully from downstream, and the level is going down. But the dam spills normally as it's been built over the years.
So the stream feeds your dam?
No, it feeds the outflow. That's called the spillway. You know, when the water comes from the dam, it flows through the normal way through the town to the sea. So that stream feeds that water, not the dam.
No, I want to know, this water that you said came from Kwong, it does not enter your dam?
No.
So it did not cause your dam to overflow?
No. The dam flows by itself, fills from a Bridodowa hill all the time.
So you do,
anytime,
you open it regularly?
I said the design is that we don't open, it's fixed. So when the water gets to a level, it will just spill. That's the design. It will spill by itself normally.
Is it spilling currently?
Yeah, it's spilling.
How much, or what's the volume of spillage that you are seeing now? Is this regular or irregular?
For now, it's quite high because it rains heavily over those areas that the water comes from.
Okay, so is it the spillage from your dam that is causing the flooding, which you have said yes to, or is a stream that is flowing through the town that is causing this?
Is the stream that has added up to the spillage from the dam. Because ordinarily, when the dam spills, there's no problem in the town. This year, about 2-3 times, we had normal spillage. But this stream that came to add up is what has escalated the issue downstream there.
So my first question to you was whether you are responsible for the disaster. You said yes. I'm sure you would want to amend and withdraw and say that you are not.
I am not. We are not responsible for the disaster.
But the stream. So the stream is a cause. You are just doing your regular flooding or regular spilling.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I didn't want you to commit yourself unless there's need to say that. So where does this stream join the Dowenya town? Is it before your dam or after your dam?
It's after the dam, nearer to the main road, Dowenya main road.
I see. How bad is the situation? Have you witnessed it yourself?
Yes, this morning, the road linking the irrigation project was flooded. We had to send tractors to carry the farmers across that stretch of road. But as I speak now, all the water has subsided. Even you can drive through, even walk through without having any challenge.
But the people say the water is gushing through. People have had to run away from their homes. That's happening right now.
That is at the downstream. I'm talking about the area that got flooded on the scheme that joins the downstream.
Okay, so that stream is also going, so is reducing. The water is reducing.
Yes.
Is your dam still spilling?
Yes, the dam is still spilling.
Up to when before you stop spilling?
Normally, depending on the rainfall at the upstream, the Ibridodowa areas, it can spill for about 2-3 days, then reduce fully.
Do you usually give warnings to people who live on the pathway of the water?
No. Because, as I said, the water spillage comes normally. It's a normal thing by the design of the dam.
I see. All right. Thank you. So, you are not... okay, that's fine. Let's leave it here. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
You're welcome.
That's Samuel Tete. He's scheme manager for the Dowenya Irrigation Scheme. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. A number of your messages coming through. Let me take it from the top. Baba Chairman in Tamale says, Kisie Jabin must understand that the office of the special prosecutor goes beyond settling personal scores. So Kenneth Damwa was right after all. That's in relation to the earlier story brought to you. Akapo Jr. in Afumim says, the office of the special prosecutor must be thorough in the investigations before sending people to court. This will end the numerous disgraces they get in court. We are losing confidence in the office. Aziz Donla in Wa says, the decision by the High Court in Accra, is totally unacceptable, unfortunate and ridiculous because the OSP has a legal authority to investigate any allegation related to corruption. Jones Aduboy Inla Says, I'm not surprised about this ruling by the court. The OSP has every good intention, but the forces working against him, both physically and spiritually. God help Ghana. Ghanaians are not angry enough. Father SK from Kenya Kumasi says, creation of the Special Prosecutor's Office is just sheer waste of money and resources. Since this office was created, what benefit has it given Ghanaians? Zilis Dwayne in London says, OSP is not fit for the job. Francis says, the laws of the OSP will have to be reviewed as it keeps competing with the main laws of the land. Many more cases will be thrown out for sure. Send your message to 0549 986 996 0549 986 996.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Mommy, please, let's go. Hey, why are you taking the whole family? You've forgotten I said I was coming here today?
Forgive me, but we are all headed to Royal Senchi for Christmas.
But it's not Christmas yet.
Shit. Christmas has started early at the Royal Senchi. From now till 21st of December, you can book a room for 2 people at a promo rate of 1,500 cedis on bed-only basis.
You're joking. 1,500 cedis for a room at the plush Royal Senchi? Let me call my husband now.
Call 0244 958 822 or 0303 409 180 or send an email to reservations@theroyalsenchi.com. Terms and conditions apply. The Royal Senchi, your luxury riverside escape. After a busy day at work, consumed by the responsibilities of work, family, church, etc., it's great to get home to a detailed and comprehensive coverage of the day's biggest stories, ensuring that all angles of the various news items are accurately and adequately covered. CNR seeks to leave no stone unturned to bring viewers the best in news reportage. Watch CNR for a comprehensive bulletin of the day's biggest stories at 8 p.m. every single day of the week, only on Citi TV.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Let's do some other stories now. Electrochem Ghana Limited, a salt mining firm, says it aims to foster community engagement by providing mining paths to residents near the Songos concession. This initiative seeks to alleviate tensions stemming from conflict over the Songos salt concession, which have tragically resulted in the loss of lives of some residents and the destruction of the company's properties. In response to the concern, Speaker of Parliament assigned a committee to assess the company's activities. The communications director of the company, Bernard Macaulay, assured that all communities around Songos Salt will receive both pumps and technical assistance for mining operations.
All our initiatives from day one is based on making sure that it's a win-win affair where the company and the community will all go together. Nothing has changed. It's just that unfortunately some community folks who hitherto were into this illegal salt mining business that are not comfortable with the policy once upon a time kept registering their displeasure in various forms. However, looking at the picture, we believe strongly that the community folks, now that they have realized that, oh, well, there's something up there for them, and all this, this is what we have been explaining through the community engagements over the period. Now they have seen it, and we believe that now that they have seen it and they have embraced it, we will work in harmony for them to get what is due them, as well as the company also get that piece to continue to develop the entire concession.
Should I assume this was one of the suggestions or recommendations made by the parliamentary committee that visited your factory quite recently?
So the parliamentary select committee were even surprised that we had these plans in place. We have gone this far as implementing this plan. And they were so excited. So it's not a case that because of their coming, this and we talk, or maybe afterthoughts or something like that.
You heard Communications Director of Electrichem Ghana Limited, Bernard Macaulay. Let's take you to Parliament now. And the majority says the President has not breached any constitutional requirement over the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill 2022, also referred to as the Anti-Witchcraft Bill. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, expressed his dissatisfaction with the President over his silence on the approval or otherwise of the bill after its passage by Parliament in July. Addressing the media, Majority Leader Seiche Mensah-Bonsu said the bill was not presented to the President due to some anomalies that ought to be rectified.
The discussion between I and the Speaker was that, okay, let's hold on. On these two, there are two bills. One is the Criminal Offences Amendment Bill, what is called the Anti-Witchcraft, and then Wildlife Resources Bill that also came to Parliament and we assented to it. Right? These are the two. There's a third one that has gone to the President. That is also another Criminal Offences Amendment Bill. And that one has some constitutional issues. You know, the Constitution provides that a bill, if a bill that is going to exact on the consolidated fund, it cannot be entertained in the House if it is not sponsored by the executive. Now, that bill relates to commuting executions to life sentences. If the court pronounce that somebody must be executed, and then you are saying that that person should not be executed, he will be sent to prison, maybe for life. Who takes care of that person? It's the state, right? So the state then is going to have to spend money from the consolidated fund on that person, right? So when he went to the President, he observed this and then referred to the Attorney General, who also advised that no, it will exact a toll on the consolidated fund. So that is what the Speaker, the President then said, he wants to engage the Speaker on that. Then they find a way about it. He, the President, has been speaking about this even before he became the President of the state. He's been speaking about the fact that we should have a way to take out death penalties from our statute books, right? So he's in agreement, except that, as the Constitution provides, that bill ought to come from the executive. And that is what the President then said he wants to see the Speaker on. So we decided that if the President engages the Speaker on that one, then we'll bring these two together and then have a way to rescind the decisions taken by the House on these two. That is the anti-witchcraft and the wildlife resources management, because it also bears a lot of challenges. So then we'll rescind the decision on the third reading, right? And then after we have done so, we pass those two bills through a second consideration and then thereafter pass them for the assent of the President. That is where we are. So those two bills have not gone to the President. So why do you go and sit in the chamber and say that they've gone to the President and the President should be mindful of Article 106? I was a bit taken aback. So when he was coming in, if you saw me, I engaged him just when he went. I was telling him, why that? And he said, oh, some letter has come to him that is delaying. I said, what? And Ayariga and others then came in on the wings that they were with the president. The president was in potential breach of Article 106. That's nothing to do with the president. It's our own in-house exercise to clean up the bill when we saw this. Should we allow the bill to go to the president for his assent, for him to detect these challenges and send them back to us? Or should we ourselves clean it up and have the proper thing done and send it to him? That's where we are.
Majority Leader Oseiche Mensah Bonsu. Away from that, jurors at the Wa High Court in the Upper West region have called off their strike following the payment of the allowances. The group, numbering about 25, boycotted court sittings in July this year, protesting failure on the part of the government to release funds for onward disbursement to their members. In an interview with Citi News, the former general of the group, Suleimana Abdul Hakim, said his members have resumed work.
Last week, the accountant called and said he has received a signal from Accra to pick the money. He has still come and paid them into the bank accounts of the jury. So as I talk to you now, they've all taken their money and we are back in court.
Did they clear all the debt or there's something?
No, they paid 13 months, leaving about 7 or so months. We have just resumed. And usually Wednesdays are jury cases. All Wednesdays are cited for jury cases. But tomorrow, like this, we'll be going for empanelment because there's a accumulation of cases there, and they need to empanel the jury members to start the trial. So for now, we are back in court.
That is Suleimana Abdul Hakim. He is a four-man general for members of the Wa High Court jury in the Upper West region.
This Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Last week, we did an interview for you with the Minister for Trade and Industry, K.T. Hammond, who said he wanted to lay an LI before the House of Parliament, which will restrict the importation of some select goods into the country. That was met with stiff resistance from the minority side. On Thursday, he promised he would succeed in laying that on Friday. On Friday, he failed again. Now, the plan was to lay today. From my understanding, the LI has not been laid today. Meanwhile, Joint Business Consultative Forum, made up of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Ghana Institute of Freight Forwarders, Chamber of Automobile Dealership Ghana, and the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. This group of 6 has kicked against this planned LI, or the LI that is being proposed by the government. The lead person for this group is the president of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obing. He's joined us on the line. Doc, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you so much, sir.
Why are you kicking against this restriction? Was there no prior consultation with you by the Minister for Trade?
Yeah, we've done some consultation. You know, these lists have been popping up from time to time. You are a journalist, you know, sometimes we complain that they want to ban certain items. And then we do inquiries from the Ministry of Trade, and then we have discussions. And that I would say that we've talked over this about 3 or 4 times, and it's true that we have had engagement. What is not captured is our input. Whatever input that we've made regarding such engagement is not captured, and then this LI is coming against all the relevant inputs that we did, and we think that is very unfortunate. We are not ready for this. Because what we are expecting is that we have aims and objectives for this policy. And that aims and objectives is not even well spelled out for you, the journalist, so that you can propagate well. What is it that we are doing? we are using the LI to achieve. We want to enhance on local productivity. We want to attain self-sufficiency within a certain period of time. And what are the timelines for these objectives? No, it does not spell out the timeline. Let's say, for instance, we're talking about rice, and we say that we import so many metric tons of rice, and that our local capacity is about so many metric tons. So we have this shortfall, and that by 6 years' time we would have done with the shortfall, and then we have something to hold on. Now we are having nothing to hold on, and we are not doing this policy in abstract. Even in abstract, they should let us know. That's all that we are saying. That we should know the timelines, the measures that we are putting in place to enhance on local productivity, so that when we know that we are being restricted, we can hold on something. Because we are not saying that we are going to be restricted in perpetuity. We are being restricted so that we can enhance our local productivity, so that in future, if we are not importing, we can buy from local sources. This is our business that we do. We consume all the goods that are manufactured in this country. We buy and sell it to the final consumer. We are very much integral part of the production. Production is never complete unless it reaches the final consumer, and we serve as a vehicle for that. And so nobody should say that we are not part of the local production. We are very much part of it. When we have consumed the locally made goods, the shortfall of demand is what we go out there to bring. And so it's a service that we provide for the generality of Ghanaians. And that's why goods are found in abundance at affordable prices, and that everybody's well-being is sought for. And so it's not that we are bringing a policy and we say that we are curtailing the import that supplement the shortfall, and that we do not tell us the timelines, the roadmap, the capacity of the local ones against the import that we do. Definitely, there's information that should be provided that all Ghanaians should dwell on. And then some of the lists that have so been provided, most of them are not ready for this exercise. Because if you do not have capacity at all to produce, then we do not say that you have to go for permits, something like a car. So one have to go for permits before you import car. Have we so industrialized to the point that car abounds, the one that is being made locally, to the extent that everybody can afford that? I don't think that is the answer.
But your position is self-serving, isn't it? Because for you as Guta, you just simply want to import and sell.
I'm disappointed for you to say that.
Don't worry about the disappointment, because people who are seen to be patriotic... Hold on, Doc, let me ask you a question. Those who appear to be patriotic and want the progress of the country say that we have to stop at a point and develop our local goods. That's why the Association of Ghana Industries, for instance, has no difficulty with what the government is saying. But for you, you simply go and import and sell. Where's your patriotism? And when should we stop this?
It's very unfortunate that even AGI is not speaking the way we are speaking. Because we shouldn't be that we have brought an ally to restrict people from import, and that they will say hallelujah, without they thinking about the measures that will help them to enhance on productivity. And now I'm talking for that. And so I'm rather the patriotic one. That needs the local productivity to be enhanced. Who is talking the way I'm talking? And that we cannot do this in abstract. I'm not talking for myself. And I'm not serving for my interest. I'm being as patriotic as I can ever be.
Very well.
Because if you want to do it, we have to do it well. If you want to enhance on productivity, if you want to attain self-sufficiency, what are the plans that you have made so that we can hold on to you? But it's not that you just restrict me in perpetuity where you are not also achieving the goals set for yourself, it means that you are only harassing my business.
Very well.
So we want proper solution.
Very well.
Umaru.
Thank you so much, Doc. That's Joseph Obi. He's president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA. This is Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll be coming back next with the latest in the world of business, and then we have Point Blank coming up. Please stay with us.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
Get the details. Every significant financial transaction, every market movement, and all the policies that affect your business. Citi Business News. Be informed.
Time now for Citi Business News on Eyewitness News, brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan. Make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Adjoatin Kramadom. The details now. The Bank of Ghana has maintained the monetary policy rate at 30%. This is the third time the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank has maintained the rate in a year after doing the same in July and September 2023. It also comes at a time when headline inflation has been witnessing some easing, hitting 35.2% in October 2023. In his address to the media, Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, attributed the bank's position to the need to strengthen the disinflation process, among others.
In the outlook, sustained fiscal consolidation will be needed to place the economy firmly on the course of disinflation. The implementation of the budget thus far has been strong, reflecting the attainment of fiscal targets under the program for the first review. The 2024 budget is also designed to reinforce the ongoing fiscal consolidation. Headline inflation has continued to decelerate in the past few months, consistent with forecasts. The latest bank forecast indicates that the disinflation process is expected to continue, supported by the current tight monetary policy stance, relatively stable exchange rates, and base drift effects. All the core measures of inflation and inflation expectations are pointing downwards, and the bank will remain vigilant on risks to the disinflation process. The committee noted that although inflation is decelerating, it remains high relative to target. Therefore, there is a need to keep the policy rate tighter for longer until inflation is firmly anchored on the downward trajectory towards the medium-term target. Given these considerations, the committee decided to maintain the monetary policy rate at 30%.
Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Ernest Addison, there. Away from that, the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management, YFM, has stressed the need for building a robust system to facilitate the smooth transition to digital currency. The Bank of Ghana seeks to introduce the country's digital currency, the ECD, to expand financial inclusion and enhance digitalization. Speaking on the sidelines of the opening session of the regional workshop on currency management and forecasting, Director of Research and Macroeconomic Management at YFM, Dr. Emmanuel Uswefrie, highlighted the need to instill confidence among the public for the widespread acceptance of the e-currency.
One thing we should bear in mind is that currency comes with its risks and opportunities, especially when you are talking about this electronic currency. So for people to maybe go in for, instead of the concrete currency, for the abstract currency, they have to assure themselves of minimal risks, and also they have to ensure that there are advantages, there are a lot of benefits to be gained instead of using the concrete currency. So the move towards ensuring that we use this digital currency should focus on building the kind of institutions that will boost confidence, because the basis of the use of any currency is confidence. If confidence in the currency is what is evaporated, it means that people are not going to use that currency. So to ensure that people would use the electronic currency or the e-currency instead of the concrete one, then people should have confidence in that currency. And the confidence will come as a result of ensuring that we remove the risks involved and people are assured that they can easily have access to the currency, they can easily use it. It would it will bring them benefits more than what they are already used to.
You heard the Director of Research on Macroeconomic Management at the West African Institute for Financial and Economic Management, Dr. Emmanuel Owusu-Efriye. The Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, FABAG, is expressing optimism about the outcome of its proposal to Parliament to reject the improved legislative instrument by the government to restrict the importation of certain strategic items, including rice, poultry, and tripe. FABAG is one of the 6 business associations under the umbrella group Joint Business Consultative Forum, which have submitted a petition to the lawmaking body to oppose the bill. Executive Chairman for FABAG, John Awuni, tells City Business News that the number of business associations raising concerns must be an indication to halt the passage of the bill.
Parliament are the people's representatives. And if you look at the petition that we have sent, it literally constitutes all the major business associations in this country. Ghana Union of Traders, Food and Beverage Association of Ghana, Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Ghana Automobile Association, Ghana Chamber of Commerce, and on and on and on. If all these business groups say this thing is not good, I don't think that somebody should just push to go and do it in one early morning. On the ground, nothing shows that this government prepared about it, because they say coming events cast their shadow. What shadow have we seen in the marketplace to show that we are now at this point? Your manufacturers are importing concentrate of tomato puree, of oil, of drink, and boxing them here and claim that they are locally produced. The chicken that you call local chicken, are the chicken born here?
John Awuni is Executive Chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. Now, the government has asserted that its goal of attaining food security by 2028 remains on track, emphasizing the pivotal role of key stakeholders, especially farmers, in the success of the 5-year food security plan. Food and Agriculture Minister Brian Echampong underscored the importance of celebrating this year's AgriFest. Speaking at the launch of the Agric Festival in the lead-up to the 39th edition of the National Farmers' Day celebration, the minister urged all stakeholders to dedicate themselves to the achievement of the country's food security.
We are, as a country, embarking on a journey, and that journey started in September. And we have come up with a plan for the country to be food self-sufficient by 2028. We have developed a 5-year food security plan. In Ghana, we believe that the trajectory that we have set on, we will be food secured and resilient by 2028. And that effort can only be achieved on the back of our farmers. And therefore, if we are committing 1st December and the days before 1st December to honor our farmers, then it is in the right step. But in achieving food security, there are a lot of actors that will help us achieve that. There are the input dealers, the aggregators, the farmers themselves, the regional and district agricultural offices, the fisheries commission, the fisheries departments across the country, and a lot of stakeholders that are going to help us achieve that cause.
Brian Echampong is Minister for Food and Agriculture. To more business stories, businesses are being encouraged to display their data protection certificates at an easy-to-identify location on their premises. This directive, according to the Data Protection Commission, will give credence to business operations and ensure organizations give due importance to their data protection responsibilities. In a press engagement, Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, Patricia Dusaipoku, highlighted ongoing efforts and expressed the Commission's commitment to enforce stringent measures.
Scale up of audits and spot checks, which we started in August this year. From 9th January 2024, the scope of our audits and spot checks will include the inspection of displayed valid data protection registration licenses. We know that many institutions are not displaying their licenses in their front of office, etc. So we are expecting them to display these licenses. And also include the registration of data protection license, organizational measures, efforts towards data protection and implementation of privacy programs. These are some of the documentary evidence that we will inspect on spot check. We will also, institutions are directed to display their valid data protection certificates at the front desk or at the point of data collection.
That was Executive Director of the Data Protection Commission, Patricia Edusei-Poku. Ending City Business News on Eyewitness News tonight. The business news is brought to you by GCB Bank PLC. GCB Personal Loan. Make that big move and dream a reality. My name is Ajua Tinkrama Domina. Thank you for listening. Up next is Point Blank.
Hello, Linda. You won't believe what I am planning next. I want to start my postgraduate degree, buy a car, and build my dream home. But you know what's stopping me?
What's that, Mike?
Money, oh. That be my biggest wahala.
Oh, you are sorted, Cry. With a GCB Big Move personal loan promo, you can borrow up to a whopping 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours.
Like, seriously? How do I qualify?
Yes, it's available to all GCB salary account holders. Plus, you get a 2-month grace period before you start to pay back.
Susket, I'm opening an account with GCB now.
Get a personal loan of up to 400,000 Ghana cedis at a significantly reduced interest rate in less than 24 hours. Call 0800-422-422 or visit your nearest GCB branch today to fund your next big move as we celebrate 70 years of greatness. T's and C's apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
The Association of Ghana Industries, in collaboration with the Ministry of Trade and Industry and Ghana Standards Authority, present the 12th AGI Ghana Industry and Quality Awards. Theme: Promoting Local Production in an Ever-Changing Business Climate. Date: Tuesday, December 12, 2023. Time: 6:30 p.m. at the Grand Arena, Accra International Conference Center. Major sponsors: Goyle, Rono Motors, Olam Agri, GCB Bank, B5 Plus, Nexons, Promasidor, GB Foods, Ghana Gas, Precious Mineral Marketing Company, Latex Foam Ghana, Activa International Insurance, Silver Star Auto, Unilever, and Gasep. Co-sponsors: Casa Preco, Coca-Cola, Accra Brewery, Guinness Ghana Breweries, Sleek Garments, Africa Health Supplies, and Baltic Ghana. For tickets, call 0547-474871. Be part of this excitement.
You know, Papa, see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how's your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Cause and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that. Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry, Chairman. Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Tonight on Point Blank, we're talking about cyber security and why it matters to you as a person, to your institution, and to the nation as a whole, or maybe even the world. There's a plan to hold a global conference on cyber capacity building, and it's happening here in Ghana. Why the choice of Ghana? We'll talk about that. But what is our general cybersecurity situation like? Having in studio two persons to help us with this conversation. Dr. Albert Entwibo-Siakun is the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority of Ghana under the Ministry of Communication. You're welcome to Point Blank, sir.
Very well.
How are you doing? Please come close to the microphone. Right. How is it going?
Well, we're doing pretty okay. Just that we've been quite busy because the digital space is quite an active place.
Mm-hmm.
And as you rightly mentioned, as we increase our connectivity, individual level, businesses, government, then it means that the hackers are also busy. They're getting the number of targets.
I see.
That certainly as an authority.
Please check for me later if my phone is not hacked. If they've not hacked my phone, I don't want them to.
It all depends what you use the phone for and the kind of security you have on that.
Don't say it. Let's leave it there. Right. I also have in studio Christopher Painter. He's president of the Global Forum on Cyber Expertise Foundation. You're welcome, sir.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
What do you do?
Well, I am the president of this platform, which is a multi-stakeholder group that really helps with cyber capacity building, helping countries around the world be better prepared for all the cyber threats that we just heard about, but also seize some of the real opportunities in cyberspace.
So just not in one country, but you're working on a global agenda.
Globally, we're doing a lot of work in Africa, but also in Asia, in Latin America, and the Caribbean, really all over the world. This is a global issue. There is no country, there is no place in the world that doesn't care about this, and we're all interdependent.
Doc, let me start with you. At the Cybersecurity Authority, what are you guys supposed to be doing? You are a state institution or state agency. What do you do?
Well, I think our mandate pretty much, we're a regulatory body, first of all, and therefore we set the regulatory requirement, expectations, framework guidelines to protect our digital economy, the cyberspace, individual businesses, governments, children. So that is primarily our responsibility. But we also have a responsibility to educate the public to prevent cyber attacks. We have a responsibility to provide risk management best practices for institutions such as critical information infrastructure designated institutions. These are institutions that their survival is critical to the running of our digital ecosystem now.
So protecting us against cyber attacks would be your biggest job, but you mentioned children there. How big a deal is that, children in the cyberspace?
It is. I think in recent times, children are facing risks on the internet. The risks around the contact that they establish on the internet, the risks associated with the content, certain content are not certainly fit for purpose for children. But also some conduct of our own children, bullying others on the internet also poses risks on them. Recently, I think you've been following quite the issues around sextortion. This is one of the common forms of online threat against children, and our females become quite vulnerable. And I think we strengthen the legal regime by introducing sanctions, criminal sanctions against such practices under the Cybersecurity Act, which is obviously helping to mitigate the trend a little bit.
There are some terms that we hear, such as cyberbullying. We hear about revenge porn and all these things that are coming up. And when we see people's videos coming up in the public domain, and these are usually nude or sexually explicit videos, is that under your domain? Is that something you are supposed to deal with and prevent?
Okay, good. I think we have a rule. Within the cybersphere, it's not only one agency that have responsibility. Even Chris will mention that it goes beyond our Ghanaian jurisdiction. For example, in terms of our domestic arrangement, you have the CID, which has a responsibility. You have the Gender Ministry, you have domestic violence and others. You have YOCO. So it is a collective responsibility, thankfully. Under Section 13 of our Cybersecurity Act, we've set up what we call the Joint Cybersecurity Committee All these agencies are part of it. So it is a joint activity, and mostly the work that the authority does. So, for example, we host the national set. So 292 Ghanaian public can report some of this. But once we receive the report, we work with the other agencies, depending on the type of report. We work with the CID, either the NIB or EOCO or any of the agencies as well. So I think we have a responsibility, but first of all, to educate the public so that we don't even get to the point where we have such large number of victims. Awareness creation is one of the key mandates of the authority.
But did these things happen on social media? A lot of these social media platforms are not hosted here in Ghana. How do you control what you don't own or regulate?
I think control is difficult to achieve within the internet space. But also, well, I think my understanding, the internet was born under the premise of freedom. So it wasn't meant to be controlled. But I think nations trying to, sometimes they get frustrated, not able to manage the risks that could endanger their societies, try to sometimes shut down the internet and other, which Ghana has refrained from that particular angle. But it's a question of what can you prevent, what can you manage, and what can you do with international partners, including service providers, the big firms, to be able to deal with that. There's been a bit of difficulty, right, in addressing some of these challenges, because sometimes what even constitutes a criminal offense in Ghana may not be as such in the U.S. And you have, these big tech firms mainly operate in the U.S. We are mainly consumers. We consume the technology where U.S. is an infrastructure country. So I think it's been a difficult, but gradually there is that emerging consensus that we need to harmonize the legislations. I think that's some of the work that Chris
and I'm going to just bring Chris in. Chris, so we are going global. You're doing this discussion of cyber on the global level, but to the person listening to us, why should cybersecurity matter?
Well, I think every person relies increasingly on cyber for everything in their lives, right? Everyone, you mentioned your phone. Your phone is a computer. Your phone is a digital platform that you use to not just talk to people, but to get on the internet, to use social media, do your banking. Governments rely on this infrastructure, this international infrastructure on the internet for almost everything they do now. And then, as Albert mentioned, if you look at these major, what they call critical infrastructure, waters, dams, power supply, financial systems, they're all increasingly dependent on cyber means. So, if you don't have good cybersecurity, all those things are at risk. Your privacy at risk, your money's at risk, your institutions are at risk, your government's at risk, your businesses are at risk, and this basic infrastructure that keeps you alive and makes you happy is at risk. And so everyone should care about it. And, again, as it was said, it's a global issue, so that we can't afford to have any country be the weakest link, because the criminals, the cyber attackers, they're pretty smart guys. Most of them, not everyone's smart, but I like the non-smart ones, but there are too many smart ones out there. And the smart ones will look for ways to evade detection, to do things that are hard to trace. They'll look at the seams. They'll go to countries that don't have strong laws. They'll go to countries that don't have things like the CSA, don't have a cybersecurity agency, who are not taking the steps they need to do. And because even if I was an attacker in the United States and I was attacking my next door neighbor, I'd route it through countries where it's hard to do anything about it. So as a global community, we care about it. But the other reason we care about it is, Ghana is a good example. Ghana is one of many countries that's saying we want to have a new digital future. We're hanging our hat, our economic hat and our social hat
on digital,
on having a digitization. And, I'm very happy that in Ghana, cybersecurity is a core pillar of that digitization strategy. It's not true everywhere, but if you want to have that, if you want to have confidence, if you want to attract investment, you want to have economic growth, you need that good cybersecurity. But unfortunately, we're not there yet. And a lot of countries don't have the resources. They don't have the ability yet. And we need to work. The whole point really of this conference is to say, hey, we need to up our game. We really need to prioritize this and figure out a way to call much more attention to it. So
I was actually going to ask why you chose Ghana, whether we were engaging in a lot of cyber security issues. That's why you chose us. But rather it's because of our digital plans.
Yeah, I mean,
so this is economy related more.
In part, yeah, and also Ghana has been a member of the GFC of our platform. Our platform is what we call a multi-stakeholder platform. Okay. We have a bunch of companies, we have civil society, we have academia, and we have about 60 countries, including Ghana. we're joined together on this effort.
And did you let me bring what's this conference about? So you are bringing cybersecurity experts or people who are good at hacking, bringing all of them to Accra.
No.
Is that what you're planning to do?
Not really. But I think, well, thank you. Chris made a point. Not because there's a number of cyber security threat, that is why we host it. But I think Ghana, over the past years, have been actively engaged in international cooperation activities. In other words, we've been part of international systems. Cyber is a global commodity, I call that. And to deal with that, it goes beyond the arrangement you do at the domestic level. You need to engage internationally. As I said, you may be using Gmail, Hotmail. It's not. The infrastructure is not being hosted here. So that international cooperation. So we built partnership with the World Bank, the World Economic Forum, the Council of Europe, GFC, which is Chris' primary agency leading this process globally. We've also done bilateral engagement with U.S. government, Israeli government, and other multi-national institutions. Therefore, as Chris mentioned, the team here is developmental in nature. So it's not really the tech community. It's not the conference goes beyond that. Of course, we have representation from the tech community, but we have representation from government, from business, from academia, from development partners. The whole idea is there is a need for us to prioritize investment in cybersecurity because we are digitalized and our society is being transformed from the traditional ways to digital, and therefore every investment. So one of the key expectations here is once we are deploying digital infrastructure or we seek to transform our economies through digitalization, the question we should ask ourselves is what is the cybersecurity consideration? And capacity is required at all levels. And I think that is one of the primary objectives. But it's not just about development. The other term is sustainability. We need to sustain. Because imagine we're running mobile interoperability. It has become part of us, isn't it? We transfer money and others. How do we sustain this? They run on network systems. It's very important. So it's not something that you just set up and then you let it run. How sustainable our effort, activities, our practices are going to sustain this transition? We have transformed, whether we like it or not. In terms of developing our economy, our society, political system, economic models around digital infrastructure, especially with the coming into being AI, right? You're hearing that. It means the speed by which we're going to use technology to run. Thank you. And I think Chris may have...
And technology is neither good or bad, right? You know, that... but there are bad people who use it in a bad way, and there are good people who use it in a good way. And so
it's a good servant and a bad master.
Yeah, and so it's just it's what happens with every technology since the beginning of humankind, right? So and it's happening now, and it happens with cyber, and that's unfortunate. But I look at this as, you know, the capacity building to me is the foundation, not just for combating all the bad things we see, but also achieving all the good things we want to do on the internet. And one of the things we're trying to do in this meeting, and it's not just, you know, there's lots of conferences, right? You probably hear about conferences all over the world. Yeah. Sometimes there's so many summits, it seems like a mountain range, but this is different because the idea here is not just to have a conference, but to have an action plan going forward where we're going to build action to help with these resources, get focus on this. And one key thing is bringing two different communities together. Like you've probably seen this all over in different parts of government and business and everything else. And I even found it true when I was working in the White House where the people who did economic policy didn't really talk to the people who did security policy. They had whole different ways of speaking.
So they're not talking to each other.
They're not. But in this space, the people who do development projects, you know, the people who do like water, power all over the world, haven't really talked to the cyber people, and vice versa. So one of the goals of this conference is bring those communities together. That's why the World Bank is an important partner.
So what I was going to ask is, at the end of this, what would be the achievement? What would you say are your major achievements you're expecting to see?
Well, one thing, and you know, I'm sure you can expand on this too, but one key thing is, like I said, I don't want this conference to happen and then be forgotten about. I always fear that you put out something, it becomes shelfware, as they call it. You know, someone puts on the shelf and never looks at it again. We have a document that's coming out of this this conference called the Accra Call, because we're in Accra, and so it's a framework for action that has a number of pillars. I can't really go into them now in too much detail because we haven't released it yet. We don't want to steal the thunder of the conference. But the idea is to galvanize option, to get all these different stakeholders, get people to endorse it, and it's voluntary, but then monitor movement on this and make sure that we have forward progress on all these important issues going for the next few years so that we just don't drop the ball. It becomes an important point of time, but just the beginning.
Did you are the host, so you're hosting this? Yes, go ahead.
Very well, Mario. I wanted to touch on something. Chris mentioned Accra Call. Umaru may have been hearing some terms like the Budapest Convention, Malabo Convention. I think the legacy of this conference is that Ghana is contributing to the global development of cyber. We're not only getting the support, but we are also contributing to the process. And I think this conference, the fact that we are hosting, it has attached our name to the historical development of cybersecurity, that one day in the future, somebody will mention Accra Core, referencing the sort of actionable items, initiative, guidelines that state globally will need to follow to ensure that they achieve certain cyber resilience in a sustainable manner that will certainly underpin our development. So I think it's an important conference, having close to 800 delegates from more than 100 countries
coming here. Why are you bringing 800 people here when you are doing cyber? Why don't you do virtual?
We are first and foremost social beings.
Okay, so you want to meet in person?
We all lived through the pandemic, obviously, and that was great in terms of doing everything online, but there's no substitute for having the conversations in the hallways, talking to people, the face-to-face. We have both, and we'll stream it.
Does it mean everybody who wants to come
COVID couldn't even push social interaction away? I wouldn't be very frank with you.
So can we come in? Can anybody just walk in, or this is just for people who wear glasses, who are cyber guys, who are critical pressing computers who are supposed to be there?
It's a closed conference, but it's also going to be streamed online, so you can follow it along. There's nothing secret about it. We want this to be out in the open, but we're limited in how many people we can have, particularly because it's a global conference and we're going to do a lot of regional settings there. So it's a conversation for everyone, but it's one that we have a limited number of people who can actually be there, even though it's a large group.
Very well. Guys, I have to thank you for joining us tonight for dinner on Point Blank. Thank you so much, and wish you all the best at this conference.
Very well, sir. For having us, it's always a pleasure.
I'll have you again in studio. Later we'll talk about more.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's Dr. Albert Entry Bosiaku. He's the Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority of Ghana, and also Christopher Painter, President of the Global Forum on Cyber Expertise Foundation, and in tonight's edition of Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My name is Umaru Sandamado. I did this with Ajua Domina, Tim Kramer, and production by Kobna Wilson, Beverly London, Sami Wiafi. Technical production from Daniel Squashi, and new media support from Edwin Kwakofi. We'll return tomorrow at 17:30 GMT. Thank you for listening, and let me leave you now in the hands of Samuel Atamensan, who's bringing you Footprint. And tonight, his guest is Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams. You don't want to miss that.